Um, Today I have homework. I'm gonna keep that very brief. But if anything, I'm very surprised that my second video, that's just me work in silence, did well for my YouTube at least. And I'm like, shocking, you know? Could be because it was shorter, could be because of the context of like the wording. But if anything, it's my second most viewed video as of now, of 167 views. Has some engagement, that's pretty cool. 4 likes, 1 comment. But enough about analytics. I'm a college student and I have homework to do. And I think that's the reality of it. So I will make this video more shorter than it is, which is surprising. I think a lot of these videos now are to emphasize almost my identity of how I make these videos, is I want to experiment, frame, and also sort of just like maybe a style of storytelling that I can make and almost unravel again, and not just replicate again. But I think the hard part when it comes to talking about something is, I've found this in myself, is like, how much do you need to talk, and how much do you need to just be in the moment to think about whatever you're doing. In that first shot, the purpose of that shot was that I feel dread. I honestly feel dread of, I don't know, doing work. Even though it's like one thing, which is just writing a story about a character. You know, I feel like for any job, it always feels like there's no hope when you don't have control over it. But at the same time, when you manage yourself and have your self-employment, as if it were, then it feels like nothing can be done. I think that's the one thing I hate to acknowledge or I hate to have as a trait as a human, that you can do so much, but not the term you can do so much and do so little, but the ideology that you create in your head that this one thing is stopping you from doing so many other things, when in actual reality, I don't want to say usually, probably is for some people, but for me, it's usually very simple. It's not too complicated, but it's what and how we expose ourselves to do things makes it more meaningful. Because if anything, the big thing that I learned yesterday in class, it was just project class that I had, is that when you create a game or when you pitch an idea of like, this is the intro, by the way, is that no one else will care. You can put your heart and soul, you can put your love into something such as a game, but you're never gonna really get to appease everyone, because everyone else has busy lives. And I think that's one thing you just have to consider, but never be afraid to reach out to them, because hard enough as it is, we live in our own, you know, spaces of whether if it's achievements, whether we need that gratitude or not, or either or trying to fix something, but we isolate ourselves so easily to fix those issues on our own, because we believe it's only us can fix it. So I'm going to again make this video more shorter because I need to do homework, and the homework is due tomorrow. Not to be a procrastinator, but if I have to admit, yes, I'm procrastinating. I had weeks, not weeks. We didn't have school Monday, but he gave it on Monday. So I'm like, okay, so I think if anything, my special ability is to pop off last minute, as one should, and would be. This has been going along, so I'm going to start off with saying, as always, I have a video planned. And also, yes, I posted an animation, which I will talk about semi-thoroughly. Note, I have not watched I didn't procreate dreams things yet. It's more of my knowledge, but I think there are some things that I'm like, being like, okay, the more you use the software, the more you're like, okay, you're part of this system. Or you're like, okay, that's pretty, okay, I can live with this. But yeah, on to the next segment. Okay, I've never done slides on my iPad. So this is a slide. For the other two, I've done it on my computer. It's about the complaining dilemma. I think it's actually a good format. I just do it on an iPad. Like, I complain a lot in a lot of these videos, and I actually want to stop that. I'm like, okay, I can complain however I want, but it's not really gonna help you. So how do I solve that? That's the question. Change of conscious awareness over time. Whenever I make these videos, whenever I'm saying something, and whenever especially I can feel, if you're an editor out there, is that you almost have an underlying appreciation when you get to see the footage that you make, or cringe at the idea of like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? If anything, I am at the base level conscious of what I say. Ooh, low battery. I'm conscious of what I say, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be too much with myself. The bottom line is that I appreciate the end results whenever I make these videos and when I publish these videos, even if they mean nothing to anyone, because my favorite parts of these videos are honestly when I sing at the end and dance. That's it. And when I look back at formats, I don't have like a Google Doc of like, oh, how do I represent anything. I watch my videos, like figuring out how I did like the first slide, like I did the by someone blank, and then dated in case, and then put a title. And I'm like, that's good. And then yes, so I like that. But how do I change that? One is be more quicker in talking. You know, I learned I don't want to go fast. At the same time, I should not procrastinate. Next, depression versus reality. Well, that's real. Especially for the second video. I can be a very deep person when I can be. To sum it up, I could have been a psychiatrist. I could have been a writer. I could have been someone who's very analytical that way. So I would say my personality is very analytical, and I like to almost parse every detail or pick at every detail more than anyone else. It's at my passion, my drive, and anything like whether it's conceptual, when you create a character OC, I need that backstory, which is an assignment I need to work on, which I've been pushing off. Why? For my own reasons. And that's, we can call it depression. I don't think I feel depression. Like, I think at my teenagers, I can call that depression or angst, but I don't think, when I portray from these videos, when I watch back, I'm like, okay, am I depressed? Virtually I'm not, and I don't want to, that's why I want to just exclaim, the reality is, I don't want to say I'm fine, because I'm also like, there are times when I don't want to do something. Just I don't want to do anything. So I think the whole objective to learn from this one is to learn to step back more, and not to just step back and be very passive or drone-like, but acknowledge it for like 20 to 30 seconds, a minute, nothing more, and then go back in your headspace and say, okay, you got to work on this. Why do you want to work on this? Because you set yourself and you hypothetically wrote it down yesterday that you wanted to do this. So that's how I solve that. Sure. And then stop complaining. Well, thanks. And that was it. These are short. I mean, your word, but I also want to fit the quota that I want for myself is to make a video each Saturday. So I won't go outside again. Go outside again. Okay. Yeah, next one. I'm not gonna lie, I have not bought a camera yet. It's not even like a style thing, but it has become a style thing where I'm like, man, should I buy a camera? And I have to do the oh my god. I knew it was gonna fall. We're gonna keep that in. But I know there was going to be like a thing that I was going to have where, you know, I was gonna buy like the gorilla stand thing, like a microphone, green screen. But yeah, I'm still hoping I do. But I also just sort of want I like this, if anything from that last segment, I just want to get out there is, oh my gosh, that's better. You're in a cabinet. Is that, I'm like chaotic structured when it comes to like my apartment, or if anything. And needless to say, I want to get better at, you know, filmmaking. If anything, I'm a pure YouTube kid when it comes to just content, which is, I don't know how to see that, but for the most part, I think the one thing that, you know, is very real in life is that you're able to make things. And I think that dates back so much. And to share whatever you want to share, or have things that you really care about doing, to whomever might be interested in it, and to manifest that or believe in it so much and do it for so long, or at least just one person to see it and want to share it to like a friend or something, is very cool. And to say that, and I think the weird little rant thing, if anything, is that I think it's very interesting from how I see it, is with YouTube now, when I get something recommended, it's like 8 years ago. I'm like, oh my god, that's like the decade where YouTube was just so small or something, or like 12 years ago, let's say, like 2012, like 2010, it's like, man, this got 8 million views, and someone in this generation, or new generation, is gonna watch it and be like, wow, that's so many views. But I think to me, it just feels incalculable. Like whenever I see now a view just from my channel, when it's like it blows up, however it blows up, that being that like the second video, like it didn't pop off in that day, but it popped off like 2 days later, just for views, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing something, I guess. But it's very surprising to me. But it doesn't matter to me if it gets like 1 million. I think what matters is like it got on someone. Or bots. It just went to bots specifically. Okay, I need you. So this is my thing now. I'm gonna walk over, take the iPad. And I'm like, ah. Okay. And okay. Wait, I should do this actually. Okay, I'm gonna record my phone. This is how they do it. And then switch. So that should have switched fine. And turning it off. Cool. Thank you for listening. Okay. So the animation that I'm going to show, zoomed in. From the last video, I realized the table was shaking because my knee was shaking it, so that's why I switched to the counter. It doesn't, hopefully there's no shake unless I'm touching the thing. So that's why it's a learning process. I am going to go to Procreate Dreams. I have some, I like it still. I like it, it's generally fine. So the animation that I made is a Lethal Company animation. The reason being that it's popular during this month, and I'm not the type of artist who wants to lean into fan art, which is crazy to say, I can do it, but I choose not to. But, you know, I'm trying it anyways. So this is the animation. I'll play it if you have not seen it. Oh my gosh, please. I want to full screen this. I forget how to. Oh, okay. No? Okay. Okay, you're just gonna see it this far. And play.
And what gave you the confidence? Delusion? And what gave you the confidence? Delusion? And what gave you the confidence? Delusion?
Okay, I played it 3 times. So how I went about this animation, I will try to keep it as brief as possible. This is my 2nd time actually doing it, so I imagine the 3rd time it'll be more smoother. So my timeline overall looks like this. So when it plays, I should have done that. Play it one more time.
And what gave you the confidence? Delusion? And what gave you...
The first thing I do when it comes to an animation, I'm breaking down immediately, is I get video audio. This one in particular was from Oka Blooms on Instagram. I get all my audio from Instagram because I'm practicing that reels on Instagram. You know, it's a good practice. I should be doing it on YouTube, but you know, algorithm. So they have their little video and I screen record pressing this button here. And I play the audio for however long from the first iteration to the last iteration. And then I put it into Procreate Dreams by putting the plus button and putting in video, and it will put a video category automatically on its own for the video to be placed in. These are the little like volumes, just so you know, and then whenever it is blank, that means there's no audio playing. But when it goes to the audio, it is Lovecraftian horror. Okay. First off, I did actually plan to have like an actual breakdown on this. Typically when I do animations or when I do a drawing, a little rant, but it goes without saying, is that I draw over my sketches. I don't have a separate sketch layer or whatnot to define like, oh my gosh, this was my sketch layer, this is how I do it. So I'm gonna show actually how I do this. But first, this actually started off as a reel. As I said, I started it as a reel. So when you play it, it's the same thing, but it is more shorter in format. And I never really established the wider view of it, if you recall. I just only established just the frame of the, it's not 16:9, I don't know the ratio on top of my head, but we can look on here with the properties, whatever that is, whatever that number represents. But then I expanded it later for YouTube. So in particular, hopefully if it's on here, is I started off with a draft. If anything, I still hate that you can't lasso tool things. You still can't. So I am just practicing erasing and drawing at this point still. If it plays the whole thing, we can see how the original animatic or storyboard would have played out.
And what gave you the confidence?
Oh wait, never mind. Sorry. Okay. Ooh. I forgot they were separate. And I guess here. Okay.
Delusion? And what gave you the confidence? Delusion? And what gave you the...
So when it comes to audio, I like to typically break down, especially for when we see this crew member here. If we can see, I like to break it down based off of the
the words that are said. That way it almost gives me spacing and action to show what could be next. I'm also gonna delete this audio. Like, it gets annoying. This has just a lower opacity, I believe. So when you press the movie cut thing, you go to filter, and then you see opacity here, and you get to change the type of opacity that you have, which is very cool, and feels unheard of, because again, I have not watched any videos on it. I honestly should. But originally it was less than 4 seconds. That's what it notes. But then it was longer for 5 seconds to, I guess, hold more time. I don't necessarily, when I think about animation, put a lot of the idea of how long my video is going to be. I think the emphasis when it comes when it comes to animating is what is something that I'm interested in audio wise. Oh my gosh, it's not working. It's low battery. Wait, is it charging? I'm guessing it's charging, but I want to say it's charging. Okay, if it shuts off, I'm sorry. That's what it says. Go faster. Okay, I'll go faster. What else? So I started off with that, and I note some form of details like a monitor with like a different color from what you've seen, and I think this is the original. Oh wow, okay, I did not know that. So as you can even see, this was the original, and I had to fill out the sides. So for the new one, I filled out the sides, but as you can see still, even when this is off, I still kept the piping and the vents up there. When it comes to animations like these for fan art, you definitely have to research it. So I watched a lot of Markiplier just playing Lethal Company, and then I'm like, okay, looked up references or whatnot, like you have your flashlights, you have the shovel. This female is not in Lethal Company. I more or less just drew her based off of like just the voice dialogue alone.
And what gave you the confidence?
So she's not part of anything, and yeah, become a great asset to the company. Originally, this was, if it shows, black, and I changed it because of YouTube thumbnails. You can't really see when it's smaller the black, but I decided, hey, why not change it more grayish? But I didn't want to be the same value as the female's skin, which I should have colored in more of like skin texture, but you know, it's nosy or vibing. She's the same pure white as this cup here. So in orderly fashion and how I animated this, here is my layers. So many. But what I start off with, or to note, if you're not familiar with Procreate Dreams, this is a clipping mask when it has the dashed lines. So when you click on it, hopefully, and you do the movie cut thing and you do filter, no? Okay. Is it edit? No. Hi, okay, yeah. It is, you hold on to it, you do the mask, and it's clipping mask. There. And let me look through these. When it comes to the environment in general, with this clipping mask in particular, when I turn it off, everything has its own, everything is a part of the original drawing that I've drawn it for with the color. I separate things in particular just for the sense of not just space for an environment, but the work process in my head, where I am thinking like, okay, everything blue is piping. It's very industrial. I separate that with just blue. It doesn't have to be the color blue, but I did that. And when it comes to it being green, it's everything in the back or what's behind her. This is also green, but I believe when I did the additional add-on, I did it in another layer and I just used black to save any process. So if anything, what I start with is the, can I show it again? No? I start off, oh, well, okay. This is actually my first one. I'm sorry. So this is my, I'm going all over the place, I'm sorry. So this was, sorry. You say sorry too much. I'm not Canadian. First animation, I just do head poses. Oh. So if anything, this is the start of the video. Crazy enough. Okay. First reference, just head poses, figuring out how the dialogue is spaced out.
And what gave you the confidence? Delusion? And what gave you the confidence?
Then we went from, it's not, please, okay. Please show up. We went to actual environments.
Delusion? And what gave you the confidence? Delusion?
Thinking about more cinematography of like, oh, is she gonna be on the side? Is she gonna be on the right? It was more or less a play off of The Office or mockumentary styles. Then we go into the one that you know. I'm not gonna play it. You already know. I start off with when it comes to it. I can just hide these. I think that would be very interesting. Is I actually they're both on, aren't they? No, they're not. Okay, just like that, I guess. Oh, okay. So I start off with the reference, the second reference, being that second environment. And actually, I'll keep that on. What I do is if I can find it, it's a clip mask, is I draw the environment in the back more solidified. Then I go with a black. But I believe during this point I did not. I kept it as it was. Then I started with drawing the character, I believe. If I can find the layer. That's the face. That's the desk. That's the flashlights. This is the head. That's the face. So is this, okay, that's the hair. I think the one pet peeve that I would have if I would be more prepared with these things is the ability to name a group. You cannot name a group, to my knowledge. but that would be awesome. Okay, what I did here is I started off with the drawing of just the torso and the cup. And at this point, let's just for now imagine we don't have that background because it's a little bit distracting. Then I start off with what are the things that need to move in this animation when it comes to the character. Well, I kept the body and the cup like static, and I focused more on the head to be a separate entity or character of its own. Then what else did I do? Is this it? As I don't know if you can tell, but there is a different color, or it blocks the green. So there's a flat color here, and then we have another clipping mask. So I just clipped blue, or just the blue vest. The color, I just chose it. Just nothing fancy. If anything, I was thinking of complementary colors, like we have an orange background, she needs a blue vest to equalize that. And then, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Then we have the hair. And I believe I probably didn't, yeah, I have this as another group. It gets kind of confusing when you have groups within groups within groups and you don't name them. So this is, if even real time, I would not have to be able to manage these things. I think the thing I first focused was drawing a particular face, which was from the second concept. So I just went with the eyes. I drew the eyes. I then did the hair. And to note as well, as much as these are separated, you can still clip mask the overall thing, that's also neat. I love that. There's probably a drawback, but you know, I love it. It's fine. So even if you can either have like a very long continuous drawing, or you can have separate drawings in which you can clip mask overall like a color format. So that's very cool. And I believe why I did that is because of the chin moving. Why I separated it. And why do I have the chin moving? Because the main focus is lip reading the animation. And how I do that and go about that is I search up like animation mouths, or like the thing in which you have to like search up like, okay, how do you lip sync mouths, or like that chart of like different mouths with different vowels, different enunciations, like ah, e, ah, o, u, ah, ra, ze. And when it comes to voicing things, I typically have the mouth, I believe also animators are they also do this, is they usually have it a frame before the audio. So when it comes like an ah, like the ah is like actually here, but you do it like two more before. So it almost picks up the ra, or from how you see it, it looks like it's at the same moment then appearing afterwards. Because if I did it like here, it would seem like the ah comes after, almost like a delay, and you don't want that to delay. So depending on how you want to characterize your character, but if you do it before, usually it syncs up. This is messy. So I did the character, I did the line art for the environment, then I put in the black because I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with seeing that. Then I do the desk, which is just one color drawing. And I also focus on, I believe if it's here, the line work as well. I established that. It's offset, sorry. Then I believe I went to do the color background. Then I went to do shadows. And how I do shadows is I just drop the opacity, which again is just clicking on it, doing this movie cut thing, doing the filter, and going to opacity. And typically, the weird nuance of it is that it almost eases out of opacity. So you have to keep in mind when you press this, that this is at a certain point, because it might, two things. You might just have to drag it all the way and try to drag it all the way and then go to 0 or whatever amount you want. Or there's going to probably be another opacity at the end. I don't know, it happens to me. So I just delete the one at the end and focus on the first one. And then how I made it like smooth or gradients is I went to this draw tool and I just smudged it with my smudge tool. Then these are just the flashlights, which I just did one drawing and I duplicated that drawing by holding it, and you can duplicate it. For me personally, when it comes to duplication now in Procreate Dreams, is when you duplicate something, it moves things if they're already here. And if you have space in the middle, it will move it. So I typically don't do that. What I do is I make sure I do this. I copy the image or drawing. I drag it in the middle. And typically when you're in the middle, you can kind of see like a dash line. Not in this one in particular, but when you put it in the middle, you make a new layer for yourself. And then you just press on here and you would be able to make another. Let's just do it. Copy, I dragged it, it's in a new layer. I do this, I click on, I hold this, and I paste, and it gets in that new layer. And if anything, I can cut it down. Typically, I don't try to shrink my drawings. If I want a particular size, I just press the movie cut thingy and edit, and you just split it. You can delete this one by holding it and pressing delete content, and you can just drag it in. Easy. Because sometimes when you go in and out, it can be a little bit buggy, but that's one thing that's like, okay, it's grown on me. Sure. So I'm gonna delete this. And I did that, and I did the extra, I guess I drawn another lamp, flashlight. I probably did. I drew the flashlight, then I drew the shuffles, then this is a key. I think that's it for that one. Okay, next one. It should go more quicker, yes. Similar thing. I'm losing my voice. I'm sorry. There's so much I'm sorry. So we have the little bobblehead character from the game, and we have Jester. I don't know the bobblehead person or doll, but that's cool. In the port view, we have another crew member who is going to the company, or I forgot his name. It's not Tony. Typically at the end of your 3-day shift, you turn in what you get from the scraps that you collect, and there's a little bell there, but that's supposed to almost represent like just the port view of like, oh, okay. Delusion, like, why'd you want to join the company? Oh, delusion. And then what happens here is, oh, in this particular one, for the wide one, it doesn't happen in the Reels one. But I just decided, man, since he's a crewmate, he's a little Among Us character. Just cause I like that. To break this one down, I'm not gonna do the you already know from that's crazy. I'm not gonna say that. This is the second time I'm doing this. I promise I like animating. See, it's so weird, because this is a group, and then you're gonna open this. Okay. Oh, and I separated these. Okay. This should be shown. This should be shown. So when it comes to the line work, originally I tried to separate big things. So this is actually all black. I just chose to be all black because I was comfortable enough to just draw the space. But when there's something behind things, I try to typically have a different color. So I just made the little, not little, he's actually pretty big, spring guy in the back a different color. So I can personally distinct, hey, that's in the back, or this is behind that. And to understand, okay, where is my line work going? Whether if it's overlapping with the table, because it was supposed to be a table, overlapping with the box, or with the cardboard box, which you don't actually see, and a secret Easter egg, which you also see, which is a mask. If you know the game, you know the game, and then, okay, if you know. And then I just did a clip mask, and I made it black. Then next, I would start with the character. Pretty much how I would separate the character is by 3 parts. I wanted to, from the concept that, if you recall, I don't even know if you recall anymore, that's fair, is I kept the green, which is the torso and the legs, stationary. And I made sure that I wanted to animate the arms, so I kept that as a separate layer. And drawn them separately. And I also wanted to move the mask during this time as well. Oh. Oh. Riz. Okay. I guess I didn't move the mask. But in the concept, you see the head move down. So that's why I separated the mask. But it also could be the case that when it comes to, there's a thing called rigging, if you don't know what rigging is, where you get to put joints or little arrows. I should not be discussing that. I'm not too illiterate. Even though I've done it, I'm going to be off track. So let's just say I like to separate the parts in which I want to make move. I did that. I did color. I did clipping masks as well. Then I decided to color them. Kept that separate. I don't know why I kept this one separate, but this is an example of like you can just... Oh, I know why. Okay. I grouped it, I guess. For what reason? I don't recall. In the future, I'll take notes on these, but this is again a trial run. I guess, okay. I guess I did that. Then I would color the suit, wherever that color may be, here. Boop. And I don't even draw the legs, because you're not gonna see the legs, even in real format. Then I would do the little crew guy. I did that purely just based off color picking from this character and just drawing it from there, smaller. And specifically for this character's line, it's all one line where besides the Among Us, I originally had it in the reels that you see from just this much. So when you wouldn't see the character do much of anything. So I'm sorry. Take a shot every time I say I'm sorry. Okay. You see the little tentacles move as a result. It was probably like this. I can also pull it up, but I don't want to. Like that. So when it pulls up, you only see a little bit of it. But since it's wider, in frame. I need to show some identity for something moving. So I would do a little flash, nothing fancy, and then he pops out of thin air, drops, turns, runs, and then in the last grouping, I'm just gonna keep it like that, we have it move more to the center, as you can tell, and basically it's the same frame. All I did was just animate the little character in the port, which I have done where? Possibly in this group. Yes. So it's just this top row which I animated, which is the tentacles. And when you animate also, you get to see the different colors, where I believe yellow is the next frame, and then purple is future frames. No, I lied. Sorry. It possibly is to what is it? To note the prior frame, but that doesn't make sense. I know animation. So I just followed through knowing the wave principle with he starts from the ground, goes up, and then just steps in. Obviously the wave principle, but when you play it through, actually, it looks pretty nice. And it looks pretty nice because when you have to practice timing, so you can either have this more like smaller or wider. I've experimented that way. And he goes in it, and then in switch, he puts back the bell because he's courteous and he likes his job, you know, keep that formal. As well, if you can't tell, lastly, after I did all the drawings, I want to turn these on again. There is a camera shake. And I think the one thing I really enjoy about Procreate Dreams, if you want to get anything out of this animation thing, is the fact that when you have a group, you can animate by pressing this circle here, or you can move a whole image that even if you've drawn over many times, or you have many groups, or what have you, besides video. Well, video, but it can't be like in a group. I've lied. I have not tried. When you press the circle, in real time, you can move the image. I won't move it in this one in particular, but it's sort of finicky because it eases in and out. So you either really have to like delete any in-between keyframes, not in the group, but just when you move the thing, like these crop images, or you adjust them based off of spacing where they should land. And that's pretty much all from feel, or does it feel good when it moves jittering this way, or does it like jitter like really fast or rapidly to the point where you have to be like, okay, I have to take a break from listening to this audio. But as you can see, there's camera jiggle, and I did it last. And the cool thing as well is like, oh my gosh, the thing was that I had it in this. Would I have to re-jitter everything afterwards? Because to reiterate better, this was originally a reel. I didn't have the sides. But once I had needed to put in the sides, to my thought and to not my knowledge, it's like, okay, do I have to readjust everything for it to jitter again? Because the original one also had the jitter, and I don't want to re-jitter everything. Turns out you don't have to. That's pretty good. So when you have a drawing on the side here, it will already be mapped out when you move the group. That's a good thing. I like that. Very awesome. Which saves a lot of time. So when the camera jiggles and there's like a push in, the push in is pretty much you're just making the whole group bigger. And if anything, I think the best way personally to have very ease camera movements is by using a stylus. For me, my fingers are very stubby and they get all choppy when it comes to like moving it around. But then all you have to do is, as you can tell, this is a very, if I can see it in here, for this last one, there's this translate, the move the scale tool, and it's static the whole way. There's no more, which is why it's so abrupt when it stays in one, it stays in position. Whereas for the second group, it just stops abruptly here, and then it stays on that position. And I think that's my whole animation, besides me putting my initials and saying this is my work, because I don't want to be sued. Even if it doesn't get enough views, you know, that's where my work goes into. And I usually just turn off the audio when it comes to Instagram Reels, because I'm getting it from an Instagram video reel. But when it comes to YouTube, I just turn it on and I'm like, okay, yeah. But that's it, yeah. I'll play it one more time. I'm definitely I'll plan more ahead of time, but yeah.
And what gave you the confidence? Delusion.
And actually, the one thing I also hate is that, I think I mentioned it the last Procreate thing, is that you don't get to see how long it took you to animate or working in Procreate Dreams. I wish there was a thing, because it also just helps. I like it. It's a little thing I enjoy that Procreate has. So based off of when I recorded this at 4:33 a.m., I'm kind of pretty happy. You see, I did on Monday. And to know how long I worked on this, I worked on it all Monday, and this took me averagely 5 hours. Less, 4 hours and something, like 35 minutes. With that experience alone, doing it for a year, doing short animations for a year, last year, and I also worked on it a little. I worked on the YouTube side of it yesterday, Friday, for 2 hours-ish. So I would say roughly six hours. Because I know legitimately I did like 4 hours or so, because I recorded that. Then an additional like hour and 40 or 2 hours averagely, so it's like 6 hours in total, which is equivalent to making like a YouTube video. And I think that's what I enjoy, knowing how long something takes. So personally, I would like a time thing. The phone is slowly slipping, so that means I'm going to go to the next segment. This will probably be the longest segment, so kudos to you if you listen. Oh. Okay. 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 That took more tries than needed. When I was doing the slides, I was looking at the mirror the whole time, so this is your mental checkpoint.
The longest video, this one is the animation one. And I think it's worth noting that I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fine. If you need someone to talk to, I didn't do a call of action in my slides. My call to action for this mental checkpoint is write something in the comments and I'll probably respond to it. If less amount of comments is there. Probably the more comments, the more the relevancy of how old my YouTube video is depends on how I will respond to you or when I will respond to you. Do not expect an immediate response, but expect a response nonetheless of a like or an apply. I don't know. I think this is a cool frame. It gives a lot. We got my Kleenex box over there. What happens if I say, oh, my hand. We got the, hello. This is a cool frame. We got a little, and then we got my tissue box. We got my bike, which especially where I'm at, it is cold. Not just cold, but icy. So, goddamn, I want to ride my bike, which I will for the next video, if anything. Hopefully, cross fingers. Then we got my rocking chair over there. We got some, what is that? Raincoat, jacket. We got, yeah, let's just stay in frame. And I don't know if have I not been in frame? Damn, okay. I'm looking. Okay. Hello. Mental check again. You know, I could talk about depressing things, but the most depressing thing is not acknowledging you as well, as a viewer, as a non-subscriber to my YouTube channel. And that's okay, because you just wanted to stumble upon a video that might interest you. Probably this was it, probably it wasn't. That's fine. Because there's so many other YouTube channels that probably mimic my style, which personally I have not seen. Or they try to go too cinematic, or too rustic, or maybe you like a DIY, or you like a inspirational video. Thank you for choosing this video out of I'm stealing from chat. I'm a Chad do this in my video. I'm not stealing it. I'm sorry. I'm losing my voice over time. And I have not talked today, if anything, that much for animation. I don't know. So, my personal deadline for these is okay. End the segment. I gotta end the segment now. Also, my phone is charging, and it did not charge at the island socket. So it is charging again. So I'm using my iPad to do this, and I really like this framing. So who else can do this framing? Just me, because that's just me. I don't know if that was a good transition. Okay. Our next segment is Wheel of Content. So my head is going to replace the computer as a slave in some way. Because I have Premiere Pro and I could do that. We love those shoes. Oh, a skit. Finally, something new than game mechanics. Watch it be game mechanics. Oh, deep thoughts. TED Talk mirroring. Love that. Okay. I'm gonna do a skit.
This is the first time doing it, so I need a prompt. I guess it'll be very short. It'll be edited, and it will just cut in now. Hey, why are you doing that? I don't know. You tell me. Ow. That's crazy. I know. But who are you to say I can't be crazy? I'm tall enough to think that. Oh yeah. That's good. Okay, that was lame. That was lame. Okay, if anything, we can deeply now analyze that. That will be my deep thought instead of the mirroring thing. What was that? Well, it could be some form of choice. Hey Google, set a sorry if you have a Google thing. Can you set a timer?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, she doesn't understand. Hey Google, set a timer for 3 minutes.
Sure, 3 minutes. And we're starting now.
My Garmin watch here is low on battery. I should be charging it, but I keep it on. But anyways, okay, a deep thought for mirroring. As I said, I wasn't going to discuss it, but I just want that skit to be a thing, and if I get more of those, I will do prep better. But if anything, for a deep thought, is the title of this video is going to be called Mirroring Experiences, and I don't know what that means. It comes in along the lines when I kind of write in my own diaries, in a sense where I don't make the title at the end. I start the title in the beginning, whether if it's very vague or very weird, and then I actually just write it out, what I feel based off the title. For mirroring experiences, I think probably on Sunday. I usually think about whenever I finish exporting a video or the next day of the title idea or the concept of the idea of what this episode might be. In the beginning, the cold open would have been me with sticky notes or me with reflective objects such as, like, you know, the bike mirror, which was not planned anyways. It was just something like when I did the slides, but I digress. Whether if it's from a small makeup mirror or the mirror in my restroom or any reflective object that can reflect my face back and just have like actual serious dialogue and be like, you know, sometimes I reflect things that I don't intentionally want to reflect on other people, either intentionally or not. Or the experience of when I watch this again, I'm gonna feel like I've grown to some extent, whether if it is like, oh my gosh, why did I say that, to, man, I'm gonna sing my outro songs like they were songs that I listened to on Spotify or YouTube or any type of music service. I would honestly say as well, especially with classes, if we're gonna get deeper, is that I used to be an engineer student, and for this past week, I've been feeling more of an art student, almost feeling in like the bad way where, oh, stop. Okay, good. Okay, we're not gonna go into that. We almost got deep in there. We got pulled out. Okay. Next one. Whee! Woo! Sorry, I hit you too hard. We went into another frame. Wow. We're back with That's Just Me sketchbook. Landscapes? It's now a question mark. Because we don't know if we're actually doing landscapes anymore. I'm not trying to be an introvert and be like, oh my gosh, I can't draw outside. I think there's also a point when I actually do something and immerse myself into something, I take more longer than need be, like animation. So for the first episode, we're just gonna, every time. First episode, we actually went outside and it was a little bit hailing and we drew this image. and I was going over shape or silhouette when it comes to drawing an environment and how to think of them as shapes and then break them down. Whether if it's you want to do similar shapes like little U's, or do just sketchy but structured lines that either converge towards something or move in length at an angle, and then the road. Okay, then for the second episode we did faces or a portrait and how I do portraits. For this one, we're going to talk about how I draw hands. This week I recall on Instagram there's this thing where you can have other people add to their story and say, hey, how do you draw hands? I'm like, easy. I'm not going to use a copy of my hand. It is preferred to. But whenever I realize, the more I do this, the more I'm trying to break it down better, okay? I expect on week 52, I get like a crisp, or maybe not, but it's not going to be too sparse. If anything, how you draw a hand? Well, in this imaginary hand, how I would do it is I would start with the arm, or the forearm. Oh, you can't see it. Damn, okay. See, progressing, moving around the frame. This is terrible. With the forearm, do the forearm. This glare is real. Draw the forearm. This is the bottom. This is where you're gonna connect. Oh my gosh, I am sorry. I'm not doing this on purpose. How long can I run? Okay. Okay, I'm going out of frame. And what I would do is I would start with a circle. And let's say he is right-handed, so we have a palm here. And we have the long palm here. And for here, you would start with doing the thumb first. I always start with the thumb. Just make an oval shape in general. And then I would go across. So if anything, the shape of the palm for the second step can be an upside down trapezoid. And what I typically do next is I lay out, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the fingers. Let's say they're gonna be just open, palm open. I would do is I would think about a check mark, but inverted and flipped upside down. So knowing that the middle finger is the largest, if not the tallest finger, and then your pointer finger, and then your index finger, and your pointy pinky, and whatnot. Well, and I just draw like a check mark, or have some indicator that yes, the longest finger will be like in the middle, and start drawing like tubes that lead to said fingers. And then if I want to go more detailed, I would do the separation points of like the little joints. And if I want to add more detail, have like the little like vein part that, you know, some people have or lose because of evolution. I promise you I have it. I have it. Oh, okay, I have to do there it is. It's there. I promise you, it's there. What's making that silhouette, huh? That's right. What? I'm not trying to prove it. That's how I would do a hand. Very short. It doesn't look good. I need to probably I do a top down, like you'd be like, oh my gosh, I probably should have done that. Okay, next time I note that down. Big brain. Okay. Last segment, bam, same place because doing it on my phone. Who's this? My favorite OC, Amala, or Amala. Oh, they're called coil heads. I did not search that up. It was actually like on my recommended. Not on my recommended, but on my subscriptions. It just popped up like, oh, coil head, real time. But if anything, I can weird plug. I'm gonna plug it. Hello. And then this is the video and second video. But crazy enough, besides this atrocity, you know, you gotta pop off at the worst at the beginning, first video. But it's my second most viewed video. I'm like, next to the Amala Inevitable, which is inevitable. Which is inevitable. That was a small plug. I'm trying to view all. So on your, I think on your phone, it separates. Yeah, okay, that's good. So if anything, I recall there was a glare or a blur on the last one. So I will do better by showing off. Is more betting is Monday. I'm guessing this is Monday. Yeah, this makes sense for Monday. So a lot of cases for Monday, in particular, this is a lot of things for my game project. I'm just looking into the music, or I'm not going to give too much about the concept of our game, but it's going to, based off of these, from some context, it's like an escape room portal, like Portal the game, not Portal as a mechanic, like you go into portals. It is a mix, honestly, yeah, sure, I'll say it's a mix. I'm gonna be very default. A mix between Fallout 4, Portal, and Outer Wilds. That's it. Love Bo Burnham. Let me actually look. I gotta read these. I can't read these backwards. So there's a lot of music. Oh, I did watch Poor Things. Too sexual for me. I'm kidding. No, it's a really good movie. I would rank it as, I have a rank of my top movies with the person that I watch movies with. My first one would be Past Lives. Second would be Poor Things. Third would be The Creator. I can look it up. I'll look it up really quick right now. Sure. I'm here right now. Real time. Because it's on my phone. So currently, this is my ranking. Past Lives, Poor Things, Dream Scenario was my third one. Barbie is my fourth. Asteroid City, I don't know why I said asteroid. Blue Beetle, Mission Impossible, Part 1, Reckoning, The Creator, that one's pretty good. The Creator had too much explosions. FNAF, I like FNAF. But, you know, it's next to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so that makes sense. Okay. Teenage Mutant Turtles is fine, but I'm like, I can see it's for kids. So, but between the other themes, like they're more heavy hitters than the other ones were. Back to this, I got that Lethal Company streak. This is when I started to watch them. Like I like the animatic on that. That one, Moist Critical, Genshin Impact. Some of these are just like, I know. Okay. More music. Bo Burnham. This one hits hard. This is really good. Listen to that. It makes you wonder. This needs 1 million views. This is also pretty good banger of music. If anything, you know what I think about? Because I also watched today or yesterday for my last video, Shane ranking or like trying to guess the YouTube people. I'm gonna blow my nose. Okay. Well, man,
I think my top YouTube people are like Smosh overall, GT Live, and I was thinking Nile Red or Nile Blue. But it can vary. Like, I started watching more Markiplier, more Lo-Fi. We got MapHat has the W Riz. I'm watching my videos to be like, okay, make sure it's good. I like this. It has the aesthetic of, I didn't realize, the aesthetic of like my thing at the end. Like just like music. This person's pretty good, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And then we got more on the covers, more into music. Okay, Skippity Toilet, GT Live. We got, this is some Tuesday. Okay, and then Tom Scott plays Minecraft. He's in creative mode. What is it? Sakaputa. Sakaputa. It doesn't say Sakaputas, but I'll. Okay. Let me look. Yeah, that Scandal. I'm like, I gotta recommend something. Okay, what is this? I do like this. This is pretty good. Handling horror. Very cool. Very cool. I was looking into music again. Mostly for Tuesday, Monday, I was looking at music. Okay, we got some Miko. Got, this is pretty cool. Not that. Okay. This is pretty cool. I don't know how she like emotes and how she like acts. It's crazy. Okay, okay. We don't want to see Asmongold. Okay. I'm like, okay. Again, we love it. Okay. I have not watched Hasbin Hotel, but you know they get recommended, so I'm like, okay, sure, I'll look into that, analyze that. More of that. Lethal Company. A lot of what I do, like, these are like actually real. Like sometimes like I'm just like peeking through and like, okay, yeah, retention. You know, I could do like a lot of like thumbnail analysis, which I plan to, but this is more experimental. Like, okay, someone who does 10 years, like that's kind of, this one's interesting, and I don't know who this is, but 10 years, and they established a fan base, so I'm like, interesting. This, politics aside, what day is it today? I don't even know anymore. Thursday? Politics aside, it's pretty interesting. You know, pretty good. Yeah, slap. These are pretty good. Son of the Musk. I don't recommend. As much as these are very horror, this was horror driven, or like his animations are very, at the beginning it feels like more horror driven. I cannot speak on them, but like from like the content that they have, in some cases where people comment and they're like, you should actually do funny, not fun like things that are like comedic things or things like Son of the Musk. And I'm like, I also like this. It's pretty good. To me at least, I'm someone who likes like horror, like try to get or convey like emotion with their animations. I have not yet, but you know, I'm starting to slowly. Oh, I like this person. I like their breakdown on the Minecraft movie, the micro movies they've made. I'm really into that. I just subscribed to them and watching this. That's pretty good. Also, Pal World. That's early access, baby. And then I think this is to yesterday, which I was looking into just Unreal stuff because I was getting into more of no, this is Thursday still, I believe. I was researching more into the aspect of, okay, I need a refresher because I have not touched Unreal. We're at the point where we're just doing pitches or slide decks. So I think this is today. Yesterday. Okay, yesterday. This is yesterday? Interesting. Oh no, we're not playing that. Okay. Okay. Like, this is yesterday? Okay. I believe at the point of this, like, this was like top 1 and this is top 2 in trending, which I was like, interesting. I think that's how I stumbled upon them. This is today. Oh, okay. I think I'm reading it weird. Okay, so yesterday is everything here. That's what I believe. Today is everything here. Because I remember I saw this in the morning. I was watching this in the morning and watching her make her things. She does the Office animatics with Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir, which I'm like, oh, what is she up to? I was like, oh, she's up to doing this, so that's pretty cool. I believe that's it. Yeah, and then I clicked on that. And the video at the beginning, here are the videos I was playing at the beginning. I think I was playing like this one, Irrational Animations, and the dialogue to credit them, if anything. Fallen Gods. What happens after a god dies? I don't know what that means. Probably it's a metaphor for this video of like how when ruins or destruction of, or I have not watched the full video. I'll probably watch it after I finish editing or while I edit. That'd be cool. Okay. Final thing. So this video took an hour and 53 minutes, which is the shortest I have ever done for a video. Actually, I also have like a personal deadline, which has motivated me, which is that I have to drive someone around noon. So this is what an hour and 53-minute video from me looks like as of now. I think I could have done better, honestly. I could have done more, obviously, but I keep it brief. I didn't do homework, and that was, if not my prompt, to say that I have actual things to do besides a video. So as much as this is a bad day, I can watch this video and be like, man, I remember that day. Terrible. Or not, I don't know. I've not eaten yet, obviously. I will eat after this or during when I edit. But I'm glad honestly, a little check-in on myself. I don't think I did that, is I've actually been enjoying making these videos, as I've said. I think in the middle show point. But to be more, I don't even know how to be more brutally honest, but it's actually, I think it helps you a lot with yourself. Like if you actually like go back when you edit, when you're in the editing pod and you're like, oh, this is how I act, or this is how I convey myself. Specifically, you're only seeing it through like the lens of like the video, like that's my perspective. But I'm never seeing it visually outside of my body. I think of it mentally, where you don't see yourself in third person, where you don't see yourself in spectator view moving around yourself all the time. You just think about it and you draw it out and you're like, okay, that is the view I see myself in, like 3.4 view or like a wide shot angle. And this has been really helping me as well, just like being like, okay, what can I frame myself in my apartment? And the whole reason that, you know, I frame it in my apartment is almost inspirational to Bo Burnham. But again, I don't want to become Bo Burnham. You know, I want to become something else entirely. Me. I want to be me. So That's what I find when I make these videos. And do I expect profit from these videos? No. But do I expect that someone might watch this video and it might make them feel something, either, you know, disgusted and actually do something in their life, or try to learn something that they have not learned in themselves? That's all I want. I think at the end of the day, when you make something, whether you are behind the scenes or that you are someone who's up front and are the presenter of your life, it's definitely hard when you don't get yourself enough attention to think about it and also educate yourself on it. So these are these videos of trials and errors of insanity that I'm putting myself through and sharing it, because I've always been, again, I don't want to forget about it, like a passive viewer on YouTube. And as much as enticing as it is for like money or monetization, I want, at the ground level, if I ever reach the top, realize I made these videos first. That I didn't make it just so that I just want to educate people on something I really enjoy, which is, you know, a lot of the basis of whenever you should make a YouTube video on something that you enjoy or something that you are passionate about making. But also it's just something that I have a reason to make things outside of just this video. Like it's hard to motivate yourself to do something with your life if you don't, I don't want to say have any like idols or role models, but when you just don't have the energy to do it in the morning, or if you give yourself too much leeway to be lax on something, then you ultimately mirror that experience and you become that. And you find more reasons to believe that that's a really good thing to keep doing. Or like, come on, it's part of being human. I'm like, I also want to be active to do something. So this is my exercise or homework that I personally put on myself to say, this is what I have to do. Now, once I've woken up, once I feel prepped, I can actually do my real homework. I can do my real priorities in life. So I'm gonna end it with a song, and then overlay it with a video, if I have not done so already. Okay. There are times like these I don't even know, when there's some things in life that I have no control. Even now and again I think of everything I've done, and what's said and lost, I've never found anyone like you. So I say, hold my hand, stare at me, can't you see what I see? Just let me in, I don't have to be the one to amuse you, but I must confess that this needs to be out of me. 'Cause don't you know that I got to lose a voice in me? Give me reasons to keep me breathing, 'cause you know I got so much to do. So give me reasons, keep on breathing, 'cause I don't know usually what to do. When I wake up in the morning, living life to all my extent, I think of everything, but I realize they are just dreams. And I just open up my eyes and I feel cold and dead inside, but that's just the start of the morning. I'm a husk and nothing more, just to blame. What will I do now? Something just to hold on to. Don't even know when or how, but I will figure out when I do. And hopefully there'll be a chance to say that I can be proud again. Cause usually at the end of the day, it's that realization that I had something to give. So thank you for watching this video. I don't know what I will record when I dance, but hopefully I know that there's some case scenario that I can keep on elaborating, and this will be the shortest video, if anything, and hopefully it gets more shorter as the weeks go, because that's just me.